Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 507. My name is Adam Patterson. With me today, we've got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hello.
This week on the show, we're going to be taking a look at Kiyoshi Kurosawa's Chime. Also going to be taking a look at some of what we've been watching on the watch list and new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Consider reviewing us on iTunes if you get a moment. Let's go ahead and just hop on into talking about Chime. As I mentioned, this is directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. It's also written by him. I have a synopsis here. A school teacher is woken by a sound that fills him with dread. Kevin, we'll start with you. What were your initial impressions of Chime?
Is that correct in any way, shape, or form?
I thought, and maybe I still think that I am missing something with this movie. But yes, I don't think that that's exactly what happens. There is a chime that occurs, but to my knowledge, he's not woken by it.
Yeah. And then the weird thing is, because I read that first too. Well, no, the first one I read was the letterbox where it says a chef's life is disrupted by a chime that brings with it, and then I read that one and I was like, wait, is he a school teacher or is he a chef? And then very early on in the movie, I'm like, he's both. He does a little bit of both.
He is a teacher, but he's trying to be a chef. He's a cooking teacher.
And it sounds like maybe he used to be a chef.
Yeah,
trying to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, he's interviewing at this not very nice looking bar or restaurant.
Yeah, like a French bistro. He wants the job real bad. Maybe too bad.
Yeah.
Coming on a little strong.
Yeah, a little bit too strong. A little bit too strong.
That's too strong. This was initial impressions. I gotta say, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel like I've missed a ton of shit. I feel like there's a lot of parts of this movie missing. It's only 45 minutes. We should point that out. And
yeah, that's one of the big things.
It's one of those rare instances where I'm like, maybe you shouldn't be 45 minutes. Maybe you should be longer, because I feel like there's a good third of the movie that's just disappeared that I just missed. Because none of this makes sense to me at all.
I am 100% in agreement with you. And I was actually concerned because, like I said before, I thought I missed something here because it doesn't feel completed to me. Like it feels like there are ideas that get started in this, but they don't come to fruition. They don't do anything with those ideas.
No, and I'm just very confused because I don't. First is like up until the scene where he's like instructing one student in the classroom, I could relatively follow this movie. There's still a part of me that is like, is there a chime? I don't know. I never heard a chime except for the very end, I guess, is the chime.
There's the one scene where there's a student of his that is clearly troubled.
Yes.
And that student at one point says something like, "Can you hear it?" or something like that.
I couldn't. I don't know if there was a chime. I don't know. But up until then, I was like, okay, I guess like this kid was troubled by this chime, and then okay, now what's going to happen? And then all of a sudden we have this scene with him just instructing one student, and then I was just completely lost from there on out. Nothing made sense to me. It's just and some of the absurdity, like I don't know if that was the aim of it, but it didn't really work for me. Like the cans, there's just a lot of cans. It's just his wife unloading cans.
They keep showing his wife like every day unloading bags and bags of cans into their recycling.
And not only that, but it's like she almost forgets. She's like, "Oh shit, the cans," and then she runs out with all these cans and unloading cans to. It doesn't seem like she's racing against the clock, but in her head she must be. I don't know if she's hearing a chime too, a can chime. I'm not sure what's going on. It was a waste of time for me. I don't understand this movie. A lot of it's missing, I feel like. Again, it's the rare instance where this movie should be longer. You don't usually hear me say that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that what is here is compelling, but there is, again, unless I missed something, there seems to be zero like motivation, zero reason behind what's going on. And it just, I just don't understand. Like, I feel like I just missed something here. Like, what is here? Again, I mean, it's well shot. I think that the few kind of I guess horror scenes that occur, I think, are disturbing.
Mhm.
And again, like, they well shot, they look good, they're tense. But like, where's the substance? Like, what is this? Like, what is Kurosawa trying to say here? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I love Cure. Pretty much every one of his movies that I've seen. Now, I've only seen a handful of his movies, but the ones that I have seen, I absolutely adore. And I feel like I would feel the same way about this one if it was just developed a little bit more. Like, if it was double the size and we saw a little bit more of an explanation about this time, as it were, or, what happens to the main character. Because it ends so abruptly, too.
Mhm.
That you're just like, okay, is that it? I mean, is this even... I mean, it's not even like nobody calls this a short film or anything, and it's like this is 45 minutes. Like, what am I doing here?
Well, and that's the like, going into it, I was kind of excited because I've always been ready to give kudos to a director that sees him, finishes a movie. It's at like 45 minutes or in that weird area of like 30 to 50 minutes, right? Where it's like
Hmm.
it's not a short film, but it's not a feature length either. And I love the idea of them just being like, yep, I'm going to keep it as like, I'm not going to pad it out. I'm not going to fill it because let's be honest, there's not really a market for these films with this type of length. So,
Right.
like, they're setting themselves up for failure to begin with. So there's a part of me that's always like, "Oh, I like that. That's kinda like a brazen move. I like it." But this is that one instance going into it, like, halfway through it, I was like, maybe you should have just, fleshed this out a little bit more. I think it definitely would have helped."
Yeah, I completely agree. Unfortunately, there's just nothing. There's just not enough here. There's
No.
not enough to I watched, like, when I was done watching it, I'm like, what are we going to discuss about this movie? The only thing we can discuss is how short it is.
And I will say, like you said, it is well shot. There's a couple scenes in this where it looks fantastic, and I'll give it that, but I will say, I think the thing that, really falls short for me, and even if I, kinda overlooked the like, it doesn't make any sense to me, I don't know what the hell's going on, I feel like maybe I fell asleep, you know what I mean? Like, it's that type of thing where it's like, "Did I fall asleep for 20 minutes, and I just didn't know?" And I missed some important things? But no, I didn't. And but I guess, like, the main downfall for me is that, like, I never really felt a sense of dread or there just wasn't I never got that atmosphere.
No, I feel like there wasn't an opportunity to give us that. Like, it just it wasn't there. Like you said, there's this one shift that occurs when he's having like a one-on-one session with one of his students, and that comes out of the blue. So it's not like we were really expecting that. There wasn't a build up to that or anything. There might have been a little bit of a tense build up with the other student before that, because that clearly there was something going on there, and the writing was kind of on the wall that something was going to happen there. But yeah, like that level of dread, like I felt like it was almost there. There was like this underlying thing where, like, if they expanded it a little bit, like there was plenty of room for that dread to be inserted and that build up to occur. Like, I'm not going to suggest that this director, who is like an incredible director. I'm not gonna give him suggestions or anything, but I'm just imagining if this main character, if he did wake up and heard the chime and like it started to eat away at him and maybe other people too, and you don't even have to explain the chime. Like I don't even need an explanation. I just need a little bit more substance.
I'm 100% with you.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate too because again, like well shot. I like the cinematography in this. Like the settings. I like the look of his house. I like the look of the classroom. All of that stuff. The like makeup effects and stuff like that. I thought looked really good, and it was very realistic, kind of very visceral. But unfortunately, they're just. I needed more, man. I just needed more.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's give Chime a score. What are you thinking on this one?
I'll give it like a 3.5.
I don't even know, honestly, what I'm looking at for this one. Because I feel like it could have been like this could have been like one of my favorite horror movies of the year had it been fleshed out.
But it's not. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying like maybe a 4 for me. And it hurts. It hurts to say that.
It does. But you gotta say it.
It was just so hugely disappointing. But you know what? Like I'm just glancing at what people are saying on Letterboxd, and a lot of people are loving it. So, maybe the length and the lack of substance here is not going to bother you at all, and you're just going to love it for what it is. And I think that's great. But
the other thing that helps with him is what he has like 4 movies coming out this year. This was a dud, but there's 3 more coming. So
yeah, I mean,
fingers crossed.
Yeah, hopefully we'll. I mean, I'll still rabidly seek out anything he does. So there you have it. All right, that's Chime. Sad, just sad.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about some of what we've been watching, Kevin. I believe it is your turn this week.
Oh, well, the first one that I'm going to talk about is Stage Fright, 1987.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, directed by Michelle Soavi. This is a group of like struggling actors trying to put on this play, and they're just rehearsing, right? This is like their, in many ways, like their last attempt at a hit to make it before they have to like come to the realization and move on with their lives. So they're giving it their all, and man, put in the work. But the problem is a lunatic killer has escaped, and he's made it to the soundstage, and now he's wearing the prop owl mask, and he's killing everybody because he's a fucking lunatic, and that's all. The only thing he can do is just kill. Just needs to kill Adam, and boy does he kill. He does some wild stuff. He uses some drills. He's cutting people in half. He's doing some wild things. So I'll say this: the effects work are fantastic. The music is great because it's. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Whatever you're imagining, it's better than that because it's just fucking awesome. Like all these movies are. The soundtracks to these things are just incredible.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
The only problem is like in between like the gore and the kills and stuff is, man, it is rough in terms of just kind of boring. Just a lot of squabbling, as you can imagine, with theater people. And of course, they're annoying because they're putting on this like musical thing. And man, it takes a while to get going. But when it does, it kind of saves itself. But it's not the best. It's definitely worth your time, I will say, but just by a bit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I have this on my watch list. Stage Fright.
Yeah,
the original one.
Yeah, I mean, it has its moments where you're like, "Oh shit, this is something special," but unfortunately, the vast majority of it, you're not saying that at all.
Got it. Okay, I got a couple of those this week that are similar feeling. The first one that I guess I'll mention is the Spider Labyrinth.
Oh no,
which we mentioned in they just released a remaster of this one. So I caught up with the Spider Labyrinth from 1988. This is directed by Gianfranco Giogni. So I was curious about this one. It's about a professor who goes to Budapest to find one of his colleagues who has gone missing. And after searching for a little while, there's some cult activity, a supernatural cult, like a spider cult. And at first, I'm like, man, there are like no spiders in this movie at all. There's like this weird flashback with us involving a spider, but I'm like, there's just not a lot of spiders here. So I was a little disappointed at first. But then as the movie progresses, and again, it's a pretty slow build up. So it's you gotta get through a bunch of stuff to get in here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But once it starts going, boy, it gets wild. Yes. Let me just say, there are spiders, but not like what you would expect. They're like crazy stop motion, like giant spider people, and like
what?
This movie gets absolutely wild, and it is a blast, and it is totally worth getting through the kind of slow build up in the beginning.
Oh my goodness, this is wonderful.
It gets crazy, in the best ways.
Yeah, that's all I want. I just want things to get crazy,
This for sure gets crazy. So I can definitely recommend the Spider Labyrinth. Check that out.
Hell yeah. I mean, come on, it's the movies. Let's get crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking get nuts. I watched Clearcut from 1991. I will say that this movie has a Hall of Fame performance from Graham Greene. He plays a native man, an activist who gets fed up with this logging company that is taking their land. And it starts off with the white lawyer coming back. They lost their case, and he's coming back to me like, hey, we're gonna appeal, we're gonna fight back. Just you gotta trust me, Well, Graham Greene he's done. He's fed up. And the lawyer jokingly says, like, kidnap the owner of the logging company and, try and get him to stop. So Graham Greene's like, yeah, okay, let's do that. So he kidnaps both the lawyer and the owner of the logging company, and he tortures them. And it is tough to watch at times. But, man, this is a pretty wild movie. Just trying to get them to face facts that, what this white lawyer is doing is not really working out the way that he thinks it is, because he thinks he's the good guy, that he's doing everything that he possibly can, and then he slowly comes to that realization that maybe he is not. And this gets brutal at times, surprising, but man, Graham Greene is so good in this.
I love Graham Greene. All right, cool. That's Clearcut.
Redcar Westerman in there too. He's always a joy to see. I definitely recommend Clearcut.
Another one that's maybe a little difficult to watch, especially for some people, is The Coffee Table. This is directed by Kay Casas. This is it's a Spanish film, horror, very, very dark comedy, I would say, almost depraved.
Jeez.
It's the comedy in it is such that I think only people with very dark senses of humor will find funny. The premise here is that you have this couple with a newborn baby. They're moving into a new place, and they get this coffee table. And this is like the most hideous, ugly ass looking coffee table you will ever see.
Mm-hmm.
And the husband really wants it. The wife's like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe you want this thing. It is so ugly. But she reluctantly agrees because there was like a deal where like she could pick like the wall colors and everything else, and he only really gets the one thing, that's the coffee table that he gets to pick. And it's just this ugly ass coffee table with this like glass top or whatever. And something happens. I don't want to give anything away because this is a movie you want to go into. You want to go into this one cold, but something happens and it sets off a series of cataclysmic events for these people, and it just gets worse and worse and worse for them. Yeah, I don't want to say more. It's very dark, but it's also, I'm surprised that a movie like this can exist in this time that we live in, because it feels very, very much a sort of a taboo type of film to come out today. So I give it a light recommend. Just be careful going into this one. Just know that there are some very disturbing elements to it.
Gotcha. No, thank you. Kind of want to see the coffee table though. Like the coffee table. Like I want to see how ridiculous it is.
You could probably find it, like a still of it. It's like this really horrible looking, like kind of Art Deco looking thing with these like two gold women, like statues that are holding up the glass piece.
Yeah.
It's horrendous.
I'm typing in the coffee table from the movie The Coffee Table. Do you think I'll get results?
Probably.
Just a bunch of posters. Bucks on with the coffee table.
Let's see.
Just give me there's apparently an Inception coffee table.
If you type in the coffee table film still.
The coffee table film still.
Yeah, and then you look on Google Images, the third one shows the coffee table.
Look at that. Oh, jeez. I gotta click through here. I can't see shit. You can't see nothing. Okay, I guess I get it.
Yeah, you can kind of see it in there.
Whatever. I have a movie for you. You ever see the video Dead?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm familiar with it, but I don't think I saw it.
You need to get yourself intimately familiar with this movie. This is something that you need to watch as soon as possible. ASAP, if you want to give it an acronym. Robert Scott, 1987, The Video Dead. Guess what? It's on Tubi, because Tubi's here to save your life. And this is a movie about a kind of like a haunted TV set. Just a haunted TV set that zombies come out of. And it was supposed to be shipped to this like occult research center. But it ends up getting delivered to this single guy that just lives by himself. And of course, he's like free TV, awesome, setting it up. There's this black and white movie that plays, kind of looks like a Romero knockoff.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that if you don't cover the screen with a mirror, the zombies will come through the television screen and into your life, right? And guess what? They're not here to help you with taxes or anything. They're not going to help you spruce up the place and clean the kitchen. They're here to kill you. And they immediately...
Going after those brains.
Yep. Kills them. But the other thing about this is these zombies aren't like your prototypical zombies, right? It's not like you can't kill them just by like blowing their brains out or anything. It's this weird thing where the guy explains where he's like, you have to make them think that they're dying and then they'll die, which makes absolutely no sense, which is wonderful. That's what you want, right? And you can't bury them. You just have to leave them out. And somehow they'll die. But like one gets decapitated at one point and then just carries its head around. It doesn't matter. But they're also goofy. Like they kill this woman, and after they kill her, they're like, well, let's play around. They stuff her into a washing machine with her feet sticking out. Like they can't get the whole body in there. And they just think it's a laugh riot. They're just having fun. But man, this is a fucking hoot.
Yeah, this sounds like a hoot. The Video Dead.
Yeah, this is something in my eyes that this is something that should be like a massive franchise.
Yeah, unfortunately, other things are massive franchises instead that are not anywhere near as clever as The Video Dead.
Oh man, Video Dead's so good. You're not going to regret it. I'm telling you.
Nah, I'm sure I won't just by looking at it. I'm familiar with this cover, but again, I don't think I've ever seen it. All right. I saw Sasquatch Sunset. This is the new one from the Zellner brothers. Not for me. This one's not for me. Like, I get that this might be some people's jam. Not mine.
Mm-hmm.
No, sir. This is about a family of Sasquatches. They're just out living their lives. You know, they're wandering around. They're looking for food. They're fucking each other.
What's that? What'd you say?
Yeah, they're having sex with each other.
Oh,
they're being gross with each other.
Mm.
Picking bugs off, grooming. And it's just like, I don't know what this movie's supposed to be. Like, is it like, it seems like it's supposed to be a comedy, but it's not really funny. It's like this kind of goofball, gross out humor almost, but it just doesn't work. And a lot of it is just very annoying to me because they don't talk. They just grunt and stuff. So basically it's Riley Keough, Jesse Eisenberg, Nathan Zellner, and Christoph Zajic as this Sasquatch family. And they just grunt and, you know, argue with each other and try to find food. And it is what it is. I mean, some of the locales, I mean, takes place like kind of in a deep forest. So a lot of the locales are very nice looking.
Mm-hmm.
Got me wanting to go camping or something, get out into nature. But so it's well shot, and the Sasquatch costumes and makeup were okay, but the movie itself just did not work for me.
Mm.
I could see this working for some people. Like, some people, you know, this might be a cult. I could see this easily becoming like a cult classic at some point, but just not for me. I don't think you'd like it either.
No, it sounds terrible.
Yeah,
I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, can't believe me.
The last thing that I saw was Pirhana from 1978. Joe Dante. I never realized that Joe Dante made this movie.
Yeah, James Cameron did the sequel.
Right. Pirhana doesn't really work. I mean, it's obvious that it's kind of a Jaws ripoff, but with piranhas. But there's no tension to me. It's just, you know, yes, the piranhas are going to eat people, and then that happens. And it's kind of repetitive because the shot is just kind of like us coming in. It has this goofy little noise. Like, you know, the fucking piranhas are coming in. You're like, oh, they're going to eat somebody. And then people just start flailing. There's water everywhere. And you're like, yep, they're getting eaten. And then it's just that over and over and over again. And I don't know, it didn't work for me. It was entertaining enough for like a Friday night movie in some ways, but man, it was disappointing, I gotta say. I was pretty excited going into Pirhana, but disappointed, I tell you.
This is Roger Corman?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I thought Corman did Piranha movies.
It's silly in a lot of ways. There's this weird like stop motion lizard, because of course the piranhas are at this government test site because they were using them to defeat the Vietnamese. We're gonna put these piranhas in the river systems and completely destroy them. And this lizard gets loose in the thing, but he just never shows up again. Like, I don't know if he's in the second movie or whatever, but I'm just thinking about that little fella loose out there. He doesn't.
I don't think it's in the second movie.
I hope he's doing well and thriving, but
one would hope.
It's a tough world, though, Adam.
Yeah, it is. That is true. Speaking of tough worlds, I saw Civil War. This is the new Alex Garland, came out on VOD this past weekend.
Yeah,
I was excited about this. I like Alex Garland a lot, and I was really stoked for some Civil War action. And I'll say that, like, for a war film, like, it feels very realistic. Like the scenes, the action set pieces, that occur. It all feels very grounded and realistic. If you're not familiar, it takes place during a second American Civil War that breaks out, and you have this like separatist movement where California and Texas secede from the Union and go to war with the rest of the United States, and I believe Florida also. That something happens with Florida. I don't know if they like officially secede or if they're like a third their own thing. But Kirsten Dunst stars as she's a photographer. She's a journalist, and basically her and a group of other journalists try to. Their goal is to go from New York down to Washington, D.C., and try to photograph and interview the president, because no one has been able to interview the president for like over a year. And Washington, D.C. is just like, a complete war zone. And evidently any journalists that go into the area just immediately get killed. So nobody's been able to get a hold of the president. And so they think that they're going to be the ones to do this because the separatists, they're winning, and they feel like the White House is going to fall at any moment. So they want to get in there and interview the president before he gets captured and likely killed. And so it's kind of like just a road trip movie. It's about, this van full of journalists who are trying to get to Washington, D.C., and the kind of horrible things that they have to get through in order to get there. And I'll say that it sounds like it is kind of a maybe has like a bit of a political message, but it doesn't really. It's kind of apolitical, and I don't necessarily think that that's a good thing in this case, because it does feel like it's kind of like a bit of a fence sitting movie, like because it doesn't really get into the nitty gritty of it. A lot of it feels very surface level. So you just have like these like action scene, break, reflecting on war, action scene, like that type of thing, where the underlying reasons of the war and stuff like that are not really delved into, discussed, or anything like that.
Yeah, I could see that. Like not committing to an actual, or at least presenting a political stance.
Right, yeah.
Even if it's it's a made up one.
Right, exactly. And it's like, I don't know. I think that in a lot of ways that it does kind of hurt the film, because it doesn't feel like a very deep movie. It just feels like an excuse to have, what it would look like if America was at war with itself and like bombed out, shopping centers and stuff like that. It almost looked like it was like, just another apocalypse movie, really. Yeah. But I will say that the like visuals, like this looked, I don't know what the budget was for this, but it looked very expensive. Like big set pieces, lots of locations, and at times it looked, a lot of that really great urban decay. And so like visually, I thought it was great. The action scenes were all like super tense, felt gritty and realistic. Like the makeup effects and all of that stuff. It all felt really, really real, but just story wise, character wise, and a bit lacking. And the ending too, I thought was not good. It was not a very good ending at all. Almost silly, the end, which was hugely disappointing. So overall, I still think it was okay, but yeah, definitely not one that I'd say overall was disappointing, but it was still entertaining.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Cool. Well, I'll quickly mention one because I didn't have any expectations for this, and that's The Fall Guy. This is the kind of action comedy with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. I had no interest in this, but my wife was like curious to see it, so we watched it over the weekend, and I had a really good time with this. I was very surprised. I had, again, no expectations, no interest, didn't look good to me. I like everybody in it, but I was just not. It looked like really generic to me, and it's actually really good. Like the comedy is on point, action scenes are really satisfying, and Ryan Gosling is really. I like it a lot when he does comedy roles, and he is. This is very much a comedy role for him, and it was really fun. It was almost like he was reprising his character from The Nice Guys, which I kind of loved. So yeah, I give The Fall Guy a recommend. It's just a good, there's not a lot going on in here. It is somewhat generic, but it just does everything well. Like it's well written, and it's just a good time. It's a good popcorn flick,
All right, nice. Like to hear that.
Yeah, comedy's on a pretty even keel throughout. They don't drop the comedy. It's good stuff.
I like it. I like the sound of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good time. I think you'd get some enjoyment out of it.
Well, that's what I want. That's what I'm looking for, Adam.
It's just just turn your brain off.
I got no.
Just chill out. Give it a look. Yeah, like don't expect a lot from it.
Give it a shot. See what happens.
All right, let's see what we have coming out in theaters this week. We got The Dead Don't Hurt. We got In a Violent Nature, which I'm pretty excited about. And we have Handling the Undead, which I'm also excited about.
Nice. All right. Yeah.
On VOD this week. We have The First Omen is coming out on VOD. We got Boy Kills World, Arthur the King, Unsung Hero, The Girl in the Trunk. Got Gasoline Rainbow, which I'm actually interested in that one. Let's see what else we have here. East Bay. Got The Legend of Cat Claws Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
We have The Execution, American Mileage, What You Wish For, Guy Friends, Laugh Proud, Hidden Master, The Legacy of George Platt Linz, and The Young Wife.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is on Netflix. We got A Part of You and Bionic. Yeah, Bionic. What's that all about? Year 2035 and the world has been transformed by technology.
No.
In this dystopian future, bionic prosthetics dominate society and lead two sisters down a sinister path. Sounds like every other Netflix sci-fi movie.
Yep.
Which is to say, that looks like garbage.
Correct.
Amazon, we have Die Hard 2, Die Harder.
What?
Die Hard 2, Die Harder. Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
In this sequel, Kevin Hart, now the world's biggest action star, finds himself the victim of an evil revenge plot and must enlist the help of his favorite co-star and his overeager assistant if he wants to survive.
Something else.
Yeah. Hulu, next week, The First Omen comes to Hulu.
Okay.
Shudder doesn't look like anything. Blu-ray this week. We got Crimson Peak coming out in 4K. We have Witch Story from 1989. Lady Reporter from 1989. Lady Reporter. Wow. Oh, this is Cynthia Rothrock one. I see. I'd like to see that. The House Where Death Lives from 1981. Crybaby from 1990. I need to rewatch that. I haven't seen that in forever. I think I was like a kid when I saw that, and I think that I saw it on TV.
I was gonna say, didn't they used to play that on Comedy Central or something?
Yep.
I remember that being on TV a lot growing up.
Yep, it was. Hey folks, it's the Intermission Time Video Party from 1993.
Mm-hmm. Yep, of course.
Kinzaza from 1986. Paganini from 1989. Navy SEALs from 1990.
Navy SEALs. Come on.
We have The Tunnel and The Tunnel, The Other Side of Darkness. Double pack.
I double packed 2 tunnels.
Yeah. I just saw The Tunnel, actually, the original one, and I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
Nah, it's just your typical found footage stuff.
Well, there's too many tunnels. I ain't going through these.
The Other Dimension in the films of Fabio Salerno. We got Shinobi box set, which includes Shinobi, Band of Assassins, Revenge, Resurrection. I guess it's 3 movies. Let's see. Mom and Pop, the indie video store boom of the 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Belladonna of Sadness from 1973. Got Cemetery Man from 1994.
Ooh, Cemetery Man.
Mm-hmm. Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker from 1982. I saw that, but I don't really remember anything about it. The Devil's Honey from 1986. Daniel Isn't Real from 2019. Kathy's Curse from 1977. The Revenge of the Ninja from 1983. The Great Alligator from 1979. Arthur and the King. Knox Goes Away. Satanic from 1968. All That Breathes. Bob Marley, One Love. That's that Bob Marley biopic that looked so horrible.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Arrow is putting out Pandemonium from last year. I want to see that. I haven't seen that yet. Drift, Into the Blue from 2005. Darkness from 2002. Damaged. That's pretty much it. What about Criterion's this week?
We got 2, and then we have Janus Contemporaries. The Janus Contemporaries is All That Breathes, documentary about 2 brothers that save birds. Really good doc. You like birds like I do. Big fan of birds. Shout out birds.
Yeah, birds.
And then the other thing is you got Anatomy of a Fall coming out on Criterion. Got that. That was big. That swept. Everyone fucking had Anatomy of the Fall fever.
It was a big one.
It was, just took the country by storm.
Good movie.
And then you have Girl Fight 2000. Girl Fight, Karen Kusama. Coming on to the Criterion Collection there.
I don't think I ever saw that, actually.
I haven't seen this either.
I mean, I know about it. Like, I don't think I saw it. All right. I think that's going to do it. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. And if you could, consider giving us a review on iTunes. That'd be great. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.